السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. After Imam alayhi salam had been martyred in the most brutal fashion, it is said that individuals around him were not content. They began to loot his body, they moved forward, they stole his possessions as that which they could take back to Yazid, that which they could take back to Kufa, to Ibn Ziyad, in order to gain their war booty. I make mention again that individuals took his turban, they took his sword. Individuals ripped off the shirt that was on the blessed body of the Imam and that which was covering his legs. What I cannot fathom is how an individual can come close to him despite being an enemy, despite being extremely hard-hearted, that when he sees that there is a ring on the finger of the Imam, I cannot understand why he would not have just taken off the ring if he wanted the gift of a ring. Why is it that Bajjal had to have such a hard heart? Why is it that he felt that it was not possible to prove to Ibn Ziyad or Yazid that this is the ring of Hussein, except by taking the ring together with the finger of Imam al-Hussein? It's at this point that he approaches the holy body of the Imam. He removes the dagger and he begins to sever the finger of the Imam together with the ring. At that time, a slave girl runs out from the direction of the Imam's tents. She cries out to a man who is standing there, and he says to her, "O slave girl of Allah, your master has achieved martyrdom." It's at that point that she understood that Imam al-Hussein had been martyred. She rushes towards the respected ladies and women folk screaming. At that time, the ladies realized that Hussein has gone, but they still heard the beating of the hooves of the horses coming towards them. The enemies had not been content with the looting of Imam al-Hussein's body and possessions. They were not content that they took away all of the men from Imam's companions and family. They even severed the neck of a 6-month-old child. But now they came for the tents. As they came on horseback, each and every one of them took precedence over the other in looting the property of Muhammad's household and the dear ones of Fatima. They went to such extremes that as they set one tent on fire and the ladies would rush out to another tent, they would come close to them on horseback and rip off the veil that was on their heads. One by one, the ladies moved from tent to tent until they entered into a final one. At that time, it is said that the young children asked Zainab alayhi salam, "Oh, our dear aunt, our clothes are now on fire. The tent around us is on fire. What do we do?" And she said that we must save our lives, so we must exit. As the young children would run out of the tent, they were not meant to run out of a tent and be met by men. They should have been individuals to welcome them, to apologize to them, to calm them. But in fact, they were met by the heavy hands of men who would slap them on their cheeks. These were men who were not known to them. As they rushed out to the tent thinking there would be somebody to assist them, to save them, to ask them for their needs, to give them water. Instead, they find the likes of Shimr slapping the cheeks of these young girls. Sakina alayhi salam runs a distance and she's met by a man who stops her. He looks at her blessed face. He sees that she's wearing earrings. He doesn't request and ask for these earrings. He doesn't say, I want the gift of earrings. He'll get no war booty for taking back these earrings. But instead, he treats her like an enemy. He puts his hand on her small earlobes and he snatches these earrings in such a fashion that it tears the ears of Sakina such that they begin to bleed. At that time, Sakina runs into the middle of the battlefield. She cries out for her father, for she has become accustomed to sleeping every night on the chest of her father. She cries out for her father, but there is no reply tonight. Sakina finally finds Hussein's blessed body, unrecognizable. Imam says that there were around 110 wounds on this blessed body. She rushes to the body and she throws herself on the body. As she begins to wail and weep, the rest of the women come running out. The menfolk come from the enemy side, separating them, pushing them back towards the burning tents. At that time it is said, the narrator says, by Allah, I can never forget how Zainab, daughter of Ali, wept over Hussein as she saw his body. She wailed in an extremely sorrowful voice. She cried out and she says, Wa Muhammadah, Salla alayka malaikatu sama. O Muhammad, may the blessings of the angels of the heavens be upon you. Hada Husaynun bil ara. This is Hussein whose body lays bare. Muqatta'ul a'adha. They have cut his limbs from his body. Wa banatuka sabaya. They have taken your daughters as prisoners. Ilallahi al-mushtaka. I complain to Allah. وإلى محمد المصطفى. I complain to my grandfather Muhammad. وإلى علي المرتضى. وإلى فاطمة الزهراء. وإلى حمزة سيد الشهداء. I complain to my grandfather Muhammad of what's happening to us. Never have we been taken as slaves. I complain to Ali that there is no protector today. I complain to my mother Fatima who taught us modesty, but today they've ripped off the veils of our heads. I complain to Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada that there's no guardian for the ladies today. Oh Muhammad, here is Hussein, killed by the illegitimate ones in the desert, where today he has no kafan, but the sand of Karbala covers him. Oh Muhammad, these are your progeny who are being carried like slaves. Your daughters have been taken captives. They've assassinated your progeny. We see the bodies laying bare on the desert. We see heads that have been snapped away from their necks. He says, by Allah, Zainab caused both friends and enemies to weep in such a sorrowful fashion. After that, Umar ibn Sa'ad realizes that now the men folk and the women who remain in his army are beginning to lament for Hussein. So he cries out and he asks, who from amongst you will be volunteers? They ask, volunteers for what, O Umar? We have looted the women. We have taken possessions. We have set the tents on fire. We have stolen what we can from Hussein's body. What do you ask volunteers for? Umar ibn Sa'ad says, I ask for volunteers to sharpen the hooves of horses, to mount the backs of their horses, to gallop into the midst of the battlefield and trample the body of Hussein. 10 men raise their hands. They move on the backs of their horses, coming towards the body of Hussein. This body has no head remaining, yet they trample its chest. They break its back and its bones. They move the body from one part of the clans of Karbala to the other, riding above it, trampling above it. When these individuals returned to Ibn Ziyad, they stood firmly in front of him, smiling with their heads high. Ibn Ziyad turns to them and say, "Oh people, tell me, you've come as a clan of 10. What did you do to Hussein and his family?" With a gleaming smile on their faces, they say, "Oh Ibn Ziyad, we are the 10 men who rode our horses and we crushed the bones of Hussein's body. We moved his body from place to place and dismembered it." Tonight will be the most difficult night for the family of Imam al-Hussein. The ladies used to know that provided Abbas is present in the front of the tents, nobody will attack them. The ladies knew that when Ali al-Akbar is there, he will not allow a man to lay a finger on his aunt. The ladies knew that provided Habib ibn Badahir was there, he will give up his life and he will save the life of the holy Imam. They knew provided Hussein was there, Hussein will defend them as they are the daughters of Muhammad. Today, a strange scene unfolds because now Abbas's flag has been transferred to Zainab. Zainab has to stand amidst the burning tents that have been turned to ashes, defending the young children who are lamenting and crying over their fathers. Zainab has to defend any man that wants to come tonight to try and loot anything else. There are men who have set their eyes on the young women, wanting to take them as slaves, and it's Zainab who's going to protect them tonight. When they come running to their aunt saying, "Oh aunt, why is this man trying to pull me away and take me as a slave? Does he not know that I am the daughter of Fatima?" And Zainab will say that "I will defend you, my daughter, but today we have no men to defend us." They will ask, "Where is Abbas? What happened to our uncle?" She will narrate to them that "Your uncle sleeps near the banks of Furat." They will say, "But where is his sword?" She will say that he has no hands to hold the sword today. They will say, "But what happened to Ali al-Akbar?" She will say, "An arrow took to his chest and he came crashing down." They will say, "But tell us about Qasim. Tell us about Imam al-Hassan's son Qasim. Where is our cousin Qasim?" They will be told, "Your uncle and your cousin Qasim, if only you could see the state of his body, because horses trampled his body such that your Imam had to drag it back to the tents." They will say, "Oh aunt, then tell us about our father Hussein. Why is it that men are trying to make us slaves? Where's our father Hussein to defend us?" She will say, "Your father's body is unrecognizable. It has no clothing on its top to cover it. It has no clothing on its legs to cover it." They will say, "But at least let us see the face of our father." She will say, "If you want to see the face of your father, then look up at the spears, because they've brought the spears with heads. Look at the spears, you shall see Aun and Muhammad, my children are there." You will see Qasim's head on a spear. You will see Abbas's head on a spear. You will see Hussein's head on a spear. They will say tonight when the women bring us water, "Tell us, where is Ali al-Azhar, that 6-month-old brother of ours? He was crying for milk, he couldn't drink. He was crying for water. Today we've been given water. Before I drink, oh aunt, let me go and give it to my brother." She will say, "You will not find your brother in the camp of Rabab. There is no tent for Rabab. There is no cradle of Ali." They will say, "Oh aunt, tell us, where is this 6-month-old child?" She will say, "Oh children, you too will have to raise your heads and look at the spears, because on top of one of those spears there is the head of a 6-month-old child." They will say, "Oh aunt, did they not spare our brother Ali al-Asghar? Did they not spare our aunt?" She will say, these men didn't spare your brother Ali al-Asghar. They will say, what wrong did Ali do to them? He couldn't even speak to them. Oh my aunt, what did he do wrong? She will say he was innocent. Sakina will say, oh aunt, I have one question then. Oh aunt, is it not true that before you kill an animal, you must give it water to drink? Oh aunt, before they killed my brother, did they give him water? Oh aunt, tomorrow, can we return home to Medina? Oh aunt, tomorrow I want to complain to my grandmother Fatima. I want to complain to my grandfather Muhammad because men have hit my face, they've slapped my cheeks, they've pulled off earrings from my ears. Oh aunt, I want to complain. Tomorrow will we go back to Medina? If only the girls knew what awaited for them tomorrow. As the sun rose, Umar ibn Sa'ad gave the call to round up the family of Muhammad like slaves, to bring them towards the enemy ranks, to take out the tents from the enemies, to make sure that they put the horses together, for today we are leaving and heading towards Kufa. They asked, "Oh Umar ibn Sa'ad, how do we take the family of Hussein back?" He said, "Remove the saddles from the camels." They said, "But this is how we treat slaves and low people. This is the family of Muhammad." He will say, "No, today they have no honor. Today we take them as captives of war. Put them on saddleless camels. Hold their reins and tie it to the camel in front. But I want you at times to tie a rope between one lady and a child. Allow the lady to walk and the child to be on the camel. And then at times separate these camels with a distance. And the rope that connects the child to the lady should tighten as the camels distance themselves. And the rope around the neck should suffocate the lady. It should lift her off the ground. I want to hear her scream." I will say, "Oh Umar ibn Sa'ad, we have found one from the progeny of Hussein that remains. He is ill, he cannot walk." He will say, "Tie his hands." He will say, "Tie his legs." They will ask, "And which horse do we put him on?" He'll say, "None." "And which camel do we mount him on?" He will say, "None. But rather put him at the end." Make him walk a distance from Karbala towards Sham, from Sham. Make him walk in a fashion towards Kufa and then Sham, that we will humiliate him. They will say, "But he is sapped of energy, he can't walk." He will say, "Then let him fall to the ground and we will drag him." ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين فسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه